Parental discretion is advised.
What's up, guys? This week on the Wrestling Mayhem Show, we've got SummerSlam reactions from the entire Mayhem Nation. We chat with Headlocked's Mike Kingston. We talk about the evolution of the corporation. And, of course, the vodka boy, Ric Flair. Stick around.
This edition of Wrestling Mayhem Show is brought to you by
Fleshlight. Head on over to WrestlingMayhemShow.com, look for that banner, and click on it. You'll know which one.
Want to have your business or podcast featured on the show? Contact us at info@sorgatronmedia.com. Subject line, advertising.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Mayhem Show 383. I'm so happy you could join us. We're going to talk wrestling at SummerSlam, the greatest party of the year, and we all have a hangover, but we're going to talk about that. But first, with me is DJ LB from his command cockpit on the north side of Pittsburgh. How you doing, sir?
What's up, everybody? I am Papa Lunchbox, keeping the rivers and the byways safe in Pittsburgh from underneath.
Excellent. And also joining us from Corpus Christi, Texas, the man from the South, the man who knows where to get some good... What was that? Did you like Taipei or something?
Close enough. I like Taipei. I like when people super glue broken glass into their fist and punch each other. Follow me on Twitter at Eamon to please and watch me educate Sorg on what pad thai is.
Pad Thai, that's it. And let me know if there's any good pad Thai places in Pittsburgh. I forgot what the thing was that he liked, and I lost it before we got to that part of the intro. Whoops! And also with this is the Rizz, also from the
Hi,
Eastern...
everybody. I can't hear anything because Sorg keeps knocking shit off.
Oh, no, you back?
God, I'm back.
You're back. I'm not even touching it.
I am still property of Mayhem as well.
There
as
he
you
is.
can
He's
see
got the
from
shirt.
my shirt, from my 1 hour t-shirt.
Yes.
And if you want yours, go to something, wrestling.
ProWrestlingTees.com/WMS to get all that awesome t-shirt stuff.
All of that good stuff. And I am property of
That's
you
right.
guys.
And we also have that link right over there on the Wrestling Mayhem Show.
I'm your property, Sorg.
Yes, it is.
I'm your
hey.
property.
Hey.
Rizz, you belong to me.
Mm-hmm.
I belong to you.
Yeah.
You belong to me. It's that song that's on all the radios.
Yes.
All the radios that I see.
But you can find out all about us at WrestlingMayhemShow.com, the site where we got all the articles, all the fun stuff, this show, all the ways you can find this show, as well as the SummerSlam Raw and Impact wrap-ups we've been doing with Google Hangout, the Total Divas review by... Mad Mike, and he finds the most interesting pictures of Eva Marie selfies. Also, you can check us out. Hey, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, a bunch of other places. Just look up Wrestling Mayhem Show, video or audio. Please, thumbs us up on YouTube. Leave a comment on Twitter. Share it with your friends. There's a Facebook button if you're listening to us on the Stitcher application. And we'll talk a little bit later about some other ways you can get the show. And, of course, drop us a line to that email address that's covered up by the logo. Good times! At WrestlingMayhemShow.com. It's a little... sorry, I put in a new one, so I got to fix that. You can also drop us a line, as Bo Diggity and Matt Carlins, our mainstream media friend, often do at 412-206 WMS0. We love to hear your voice, and if there's anything I'd like to get people doing video mails or anything. Just record. You go into YouTube. There's a webcam record button. You can do it right in there. Send us a link. Keep stuff like that in the audio. Please keep that under 30 seconds for a better chance to be hearing the entire thing on the air. Think about it. Then say it. And then we'll play it. So there you go. And with that, let's start the only way we know how, with the fan mail. And I understand there was a promise of the first one that's going to be read by Mr. LB.
Yep. It's from our good friend who was unfortunately voted off the island, Bobby F. J-Town.
Do you want to explain that, what we've been doing? Because for the people that aren't here live.
Well, as the regular viewers of the show know, we have a rotating panel here on the Wrestling Mayhem Show, and what we like to do is, we like to mix it up. Sometimes we don't know how to have on the show, so we throw a live straw poll, strawpoll.me. We just throw a live poll into our chat room, and they vote on who they want to see. And this week's winner, just barely edging out Rizz the Fur, was Bobby FJ Town.
There he is.
Hi.
So, but wait, did I say that backwards?
Yeah, you said that backwards. That's what I was confused
I'm sorry.
I'm
Just
on
barely
the show.
edging out Bobby FJ Town was Rizdifer,
Rizdifer.
but Bobby sent an email. Sorry.
I'm going to call myself Rizdifer now. Thank you.
Like Hick says, your torch has been extinguished, Bobby.
To be fair, all credit where credit's due. Lady Lunchbox came up with Rizdifer. That's one of hers. So,
All right.
Thank you, Lady Lunchbox.
ready.
Ready.
Greetings, Mayhem Nation. I know what you're all thinking. No! I'm not writing this email from a mental institution after checking myself in due to the events of Sunday night. I was a bit angry when Randy Orton's music hit, and he walked out with briefcase in hand. He was just showing it off, right? Right? Whew. He was... dodged a bullet there. Triple H, no. What have you done? This is unacceptable. Go to your poorly constructed office that Brock Lesnar destroyed in Stamford, Connecticut. But then I thought about it. I actually got what I wanted. No more bland, boring, out of nowhere face Randy Orton. He's free to be the Viper once more. At one time, Randy was one of my favorite wrestlers. This was when he actually had something to do, which he does now. I'm hoping this will lead to a new corporation in the WWE and get some of the guys that don't really have anything going on involved. I can see a corporate stable with the likes of Randy Orton, Wade Barrett, Drew McIntyre, and maybe, even, dare I say it, a heel Zack Ryder with a corporate makeover. We'll see.
Oh.
Time will tell. But I'm actually okay with Daniel Bryan chasing the title. I just hope they don't do another union stable with D-Bry and a few others, though. Unless they call themselves the Teamsters. Also, bring back the only good McMahon, Shane. Till next time, Mayhem Nation, I shall remain Bobby F.J. Town. The F is for funnel cakes, sent from my straitjacket.
Bobby, I think we were all worried about Bobby Sunday night. I'm glad to see he pulled through. It was an emotional experience for most of us.
Yeah.
But in the end, we were mostly worried about Bobby.
No, actually, that is true. We were all at Lady Lunchboxes, and when he
We weren't all at Lady Lunchboxes.
well, the majority of us, the majority of us who live in Pittsburgh, went to Lady Lunchboxes, and as soon as he won that title, the first thing we thought of was Bobby FJ Town.
Yes.
We care about you, Bobby.
Awesome.
We're here for you.
I believe we do
We love
have
Bobby.
a lady mail that's marked to be read by Eamon. Is that right?
Yes, the lady mail. Let's do this. Dear the Wrestling Mayhem Show, the deck is stacked against Daniel Bryan with the McMahons, Brad Maddox, Triple H, Randy Orton, and The Shield all working together. Plus, nobody on the ramp budged to help him. Therefore, I'm thinking D-Bry has one ally he can turn to. William Goddamn Regal. Or do you think he'll go it alone, full-on Austin, don't trust anybody mode?
Sting.
Speaking of...
Sting.
No.
It's like one man I can trust. The Sting.
No.
No.
No. Speaking of modes and Maddox, Beef Mode Brad should be the new Batista if Evolution gets reformed, right? I just want to see his kick boots again.
Maybe he's...
I brought...
sorry, I'm thinking maybe he's the new Randy Orton? Guy that maybe shouldn't be there but is, but we're going to give him a push?
Does that make Triple H the new Ric Flair?
Well, I think it's obvious he is if they did want that direction.
I have brought with me yet another poem because I'm far too generous with my genius. You're welcome. Again, name the specific type of poem, and you win a pizza. Let me see if I can do this better than last week.
By the way, she says new Randy Orton is Bo Dallas.
Oh, shit.
Blech.
Oh,
With the
Dallas.
With the poem.
Read it.
The Wrestling Mayhem shows in my Fave 5. Wait, no. It's my all-time #1 show. Tuesday on Sorgatron Media Live. Harass the hosts, then make them break their flow. Mad Mike, The Rizz, Little Eamon, Lunchbox, yay! There's J-Town Bobby, Bo Diggity, woo! Can't forget Wheels, Chachi, all these dudes cray. Sorg herds these cats, it's like Prograps The View. The Indy Minute, remember when rules. And all the yells and insults make it great. If you don't like it, you top List of Fools. It's my quick stop for Randy Orton hate. The end, man. I hope everything rhymes. Send mail into the show. Care of Good Times. And I did not pre-read this word. Your obstreperous, Jesus Christ. Your obstreperous pal, leg kick, TKO.
And
Did you just call her a stripper?
that, and the definition
I don't
of
know.
that,
I'm sorry. It's like
is,
speaking French and saying.
it's an adjective, noisy and difficult to control. Quote, the boy is cocky and obstreperous. Something like that. The whole thing you're reading that, I just picture this video that we should make of LB walking onto the green screen, which is all blacked out, reading it, again, coffee stop style, and walking off, and that's our new ad for the show.
No, there needs to be a classic chair for him to sit in.
Oh, there's something I forgot.
Oh.
There we go. All right, excellent.
I know what kind of poem it was.
What is it?
Rhyming. Pizza, please.
There you go. I don't think you can deny that one. So with that, we got another email from Dustin, our new emailer from last week.
Hi, Dustin.
Yeah, hi Dustin. Welcome back. Among other things, he says SummerSlam proved why it is considered one of the big 4 pay-per-views. I could literally hear Eamon throw his remote through his television after Tripp screwed the IWC. All the way from Texas, man.
I'm going to talk about something in that email later. Maybe we can
we'll get to that.
Maybe we can have a discussion on that in the round.
Texas covers a vast distance between Corpus and Midland, but the sounds of his sobs echoed across the desert. Good job, WWE. You've managed to recreate an Attitude Era swerve. Stuff that matters this week. Question number one. Which was more shocking moment? Tito Ortiz turning on main event Mafia or the Trips Orton double turn? Calm down. That wasn't a legit question. Yeah, we're going WWE with that one, right, guys?
I'm going to say Tito Ortiz because he really looks like a penis, and that's really shocking to me.
Okay, that sounds about right. Number 2, if WWE wants Vincent Kennedy McMahon to be the face and Trips to be the heel, how the fuck do they turn Vince face?
Yep, they're not doing that.
Nope, I don't think they're doing that. Really, no. I think this was
this was written before Raw.
This was written before Raw.
I have a theory about that. I think they are. They might down the line, but we'll get into that a little.
It's so
later.
weird. Everybody's all of a sudden on the same page, right?
I like
3. Which was worse looking botch? Which was a worse looking botch? My apologies. Cena trying to Styles clash Bryan, or Sabin trying to give Bully a Hurricanrana? What?
I don't remember
again,
a lot of what happens in TNA.
This was done before Raw.
It's done before Raw, yes, and Sin Cara wins it all. P.S. The correct answer to the Rikishi Xbox question was quiche, because Xbox is a walking petri dish full of venereal disease.
Oh, China.
Yes. Christopher, I think
Christopher.
you have an email to read.
I have an email to read. Hello, Mayhemers. It's the exciting return of Logan, a.k.a. that guy who sent you the pictures of Japanese WWE.
Nice.
I remember you.
Well, hi. Well, I was looking at the Japanese site a little more and saw some more material, and now that I have more time, I was wondering if you guys want me to send them weekly, sort of like a segment. That was all one sentence.
That's fine. That's fine. Don't.
He gets Japanese
leave the
WWE
grammar
websites.
alone.
Leave him alone.
All right. Well, goodbye, and remember.
There's a lot of dots.
I'm the Shockmaster.
There you go.
I love it. Sorg can't let like the awkward silence happen.
No, because it's a
'Cause he knows
visual
it's horrible
gag,
for the
and we don't
podcast.
have the visual.
It's supposed
I
to be
know.
read like an email, Sorg. I'm reading it, and it says, well, goodbye, and remember, ... I don't want to say dot, so I let it go. I'm making it sound like
and I think this is I thought, we can't just
Someone
have,
cares
if
about
you
the
leave
audio
blank
listeners,
space on a
and we know.
podcast, they think there's something wrong with their app. Trust me, I get that all the time on the Merlin Man shows.
Buy the app.
There you go.
$1.99.
$1.99. Excellent. We got more. I'll do this quick one.
By the way, yes, you should.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, you should definitely.
Moving on.
Mayhem. Did you guys notice Punk was wearing Wolverine colors for his match against Brock? Cool stuff, huh? Layers Mayhem. 0 out. Didn't notice. That's awesome. I can't believe I didn't notice that.
I didn't know.
Oh, that was a separate email.
heard-
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But yeah. LB, I believe you got one.
I do indeed.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do things a little differently this week.
Okay.
We're not going to do it in Russian. Next week we're going to have some different music.
Okay.
We're just going to read it straightforward this week.
Okay.
And then every week afterwards it will be read in a different accent. This week's accent is American. Ready?
Yeah.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. It's me. It's at Big PPC. What it is, Mayhem Crew. White guy, American.
Mayhem Crew.
I knew that Randy Orton was going to cash in. For fuck's sake, that was bullshit. The game did for the business and his family, huh? Fucking D. Bryan is the best thing going. Guess we get to see him chase title. Fuck Randy Orton. Wyatt family is fantastic. Shield is doing fucking great. We the people still doing well. Darren Young wins a match. Holy hell! Punk and Brock match of year, or maybe Cena versus Bryan, defiantly great.
That's not right.
Questions.
It works.
That
I
is
know,
right.
but I'm reading it as it's typed.
It actually works that way.
Who
Finally.
will Wyatt family go after next? Maybe Kane will join them. Will D-Bry get next shot at Orton? Or someone else? Who will get next shot at Del Rio? RVD maybe. Till next time, it's been me. It's at Big PPC Fan of the Year, I think. Sent from my iPhone.
And this wasn't sent after Raw, or I can't remember.
This was
No,
sent
this
after
was-
Raw.
this
It was sent
today.
after. Okay.
This was sent
Yeah, I
today.
think it's pretty obvious RVD's the next in line with that.
Because
Yep.
Ricardo's next to him. Oh boy.
Because RVD is the voice of the Hispanic people.
Yes, he is.
Why not?
Sure.
it's
Why not?
Quattro Evente.
Wow. Yeah,
Venti.
I think there could be some fun skits with that. Wyatt family, who they go after next? I think it's going to be the story of them and Kane. Maybe they'll go after somebody with that. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious it's going to come back. Kane's going to be part of them or converted or something, right?
Right.
I mean, does anybody else have any other thoughts on that? Of where they could be going?
I think
Ryder.
before too long we're going to have the Wyatt family versus the Shield.
Maybe.
Zack
And
Ryder.
now-
Somewhere
Just
down
yet.
the line.
Yeah. I don't know. They could do a heel thing, maybe. Maybe that could be your battleground match, you know?
Yeah, but I think the
Yoshitatsu.
Shield's more caught up in what the whole McMahon corporate thing is going to be. I think they're going to be focused in that direction, and then maybe get thrown in with like a Mark Henry or a Big Show or something like that.
Yeah.
One of two things will happen. First, either Zack Ryder will be taken next, or Zack Ryder will fight Ryback because he is in catering.
Yeah,
I'm leaning towards the second.
I want the first, but it's probably going to be the second. I just want to see Zack Ryder heel.
Yeah, can I go back to? I love we have factions again.
Yes.
Even though they're at different levels, we do have 3MB or just the band if you want to go by that. We have the Wyatt family. We have the Shield. We have kind of this corporate thing going on, which is kind of ingrating the Shield. I could see maybe this RVD and Show and Henry thing becoming a thing long term. Obviously, Show and Henry is going to be. It could be fun. It could be fun. Will D-Bry get the next shot at Orton? Yeah, I think it's going to come around to that.
I hope not.
Really?
What?
I think it would be more because I think it would be more interesting if we're going to have this whole thing of D-Bry and chasing the championship to sort of, and if Randy Orton is being backed by the guys that have like most, if not all, the power on the show, like they're going to give it to somebody that. I obviously they're not giving it to Cena because he's out, but I think they can find somebody that could take that spot at that next pay-per-view. That really, I mean, it's not a big pay-per-view, so it's not going to mean too much, But they need to let D. Bryan sort of fight a bit more to get that next shot.
Exactly.
In my opinion, I think if they just said, "Yeah, we're going to give D. Bryan the next title shot, but we're going to try to find a way to screw him over," I don't think it'll be as interesting.
Yeah. Definitely. And I want to point out a couple of fan interaction things that are happening currently via the chat room. Other straw polls are popping up during the show.
Oh, no.
First one, I gave it a little bit of time here. It's only got a few votes, but maybe they'll get some more. One, I think Leg Kick put this up. Who is the worst? Vince McMahon, Triple H, Randall Keith Orton, or Stephanie McMahon? We got 2 votes for Vince, 1 for Trips, and 1 for Orton. And another
I'm going to find that poll and vote for Triple H.
And another one came up. Which should be next week's? What should next week's accent be? We have Australian, Mexican, Chinese, and Wookiee. I'm making a vote for Wookiee.
Wookiee.
And I'm going to vote, and let's see what's winning. Wookiee has 6 votes. So there you go. If you want to join those in, if you're not in there now, join us live, or you want to tune in here after 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live.sorgatronmedia.com, and you also can make some fun polls.
We can post those on Facebook.
Yeah,
too.
you can put those on Facebook. Guys, go ahead and put those on Facebook if you want. We'll see about tweeting them here in the break. But in the meantime, I do want to touch base something going on here at Sorgatron Media. We want you guys to sign up for that mailing list. We got this awesome mailing list going through MailChimp, so you can have everything all in one place, updated weekly of what's going on with Sorgatron Media. It's not just a Wrestling Mayhem Show. We do the Awesome Cast. We do Insert Coin to Begin .com, which is an entire site where the guys like Rizz, Chachi, even Eamon had a little bit in there. We'll get to that a little bit later.
Eamon did video games,
he did
everybody.
Video game stuff, but we'll talk about that a little later. Great stuff. Unsung, the nonprofit news show we're doing. We got blogs. We got all kinds of stuff. Just chair shot reality shoots we've been doing all summer, and a little peaks here and there of projects coming up, including documentaries and things that are going on around the Sorgatron Media universe. Sign up now, new subscribers. If you go over there to sorgatronmedia.com, or if you're over there on live.sorgatronmedia.com, it's right at the top, but there's a button on the right that says Sorgatron Media in your mail, or your inbox, excuse me. Go and click that. Sign up for that, or if you see the tweet, click that link too. We tweet the newsletter every Wednesday afternoon, along with mailing it out to you guys. So go check that out, please. But if you're a new subscriber, you have a chance to win the WWE's Greatest Stars of the 90s. And, who didn't like something in the 90s? They got everybody on here. Nash, Hart, Flair, Foley, Hogan, Triple H, Austin Rock, Undertaker, all on this DVD. It's a big 3-disc set. I think Mad Mike was attesting to this is an awesome set of matches. So go check that out. So sign up, and one of you guys is going to be receiving this guy right here, and we're probably going to give that about another week or so. before we pull the drawing for that. So in the meantime, let's go over LB. You're going to tell me about wonderful product that we've been talking about on the show lately.
Absolutely. Mayhemers, I want to have a quick conversation with you about pleasure. You deserve it. You've had a hard day at work. Your life is, well, it's great because you listen to the Wrestling Mayhem Show. So you should take care of yourself, and you shouldn't be ashamed of it. What you should do is head on over to WrestlingMayhemShow.com every time and click on the banner. You know the one, the best-looking banner on the website, and head through to the Fleshlight website. There are so many different toys, so many things to take care of yourself with. Lubes, if you're part of a couple, there are toys for both of you. Share and share alike. Need something to get the engine going? They have plenty of pornography and, of course, the world-famous Fleshlight. Take a moment, head to WrestlingMayhemShow.com, click on that banner, go to Fleshlight, place your order, tell them the Wrestling Mayhem Show, and DJ Lunchbox sent you.
Excellent. And with that, we did a great interview last week with Mike Kingston, returning the show from Headlocked, the comic book. He's got a great Kickstarter we're going to hear about right now. Apologies, had a little problem with the video. It's a little sketchy, but the audio is all intact, so listen to that. Check out more about Headlocked right here.
They say your dreams don't die until you give up on them.
What began as a typical pro wrestling contest suddenly went very, very wrong.
But how do you know when it's time to let them go? My name is Mike Hartman. A year ago, I was just a normal college kid. Good friends, decent grades, bright future. And I walked away from it all to chase the bright lights and the big stage of professional wrestling. 6 months ago, I got off a bus in Philadelphia, ready to make my dream a reality. I failed miserably. I've been conned. I've been beaten. I've been broken. Is it time to let this dream die?
Holding you tight, 'cause my angels get slayed by the demons of the night.
Right now I'm in Texas, a place called the Last Territory. No money, no job, no friends. But for the first time in a long time, I have hope. When you're chasing a dream, sometimes that's all you need. My name is Mike Hartman, and I'm not ready to give up on this dream. I will be a professional wrestler.
Hey guys, it's Sorg coming at you from the past here. We're actually filming this last Friday, and you just saw the ad for the trailer for the new Headlock comic, and we got the man on the line to tell us more about it. We got Mike Kingston of Headlocked. Good to see you.
Hey, good. Thanks for having me.
So tell us about the new project. Well, first, give us a little bit of background. There was a little bit in the demo, but tell me where the Headlock concept came from people that maybe haven't caught you here on the show or maybe haven't discovered Headlocked yet.
Headlocked is a story about a kid who's a theater major in college that falls in love with wrestling, and he quits school, and it's sort of his journey through the wrestling business. As he learns the wrestling business, you kind of learn it through his eyes, and because he's, a theater major, we're sort of examining wrestling, I guess, through the eyes of a performance artist. But at the same time, it's sort of the girl gets off the bus in Hollywood kind of thing, where he's navigating the underbelly of the business, trying to get to the bright lights and the big stage.
Mm-hmm. I always thought that was an interesting concept, that it was a theater major that saw, like, the magic of pro wrestling. I thought that, a lot of times I think pro wrestling is kind of thing thought of as a dumbed down kind of form of entertainment.
I heard someone call it a cultural skid mark the other day.
A cultural skid mark. Unfortunately, some of the presentation, I guess, leaves a little bit to be desired. But how did you come about this concept of a theater major like this?
Well, I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, and I think a lot of times, when you see something through someone else's eyes, I think you get a different appreciation for it. And I think, ultimately when it's all said and done, I think I want Headlock to be my defense of my wrestling fandom. Mm-hmm. And we're sort of doing that by, looking at the craft of wrestling, as an art form and sort of the artistic soul of wrestling. And I get what it looks like on the surface, to somebody who hasn't loved it their whole lives. It probably looks fairly ridiculous, but I think that there's more than one way you can tell stories with wrestling. There's a lot of different things to it. It's just been underrepresented and underutilized, I think.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about the new project. This is it sounds like it's the next chapter for this guy, right?
Yeah, we're heading into the future just a little bit beyond where we left him, and we're gonna explain how we got there in the course of time. You don't need to have read any of the earlier Headlock stuff to be able to follow this book, but he finds himself in Texas, and the place is called the Last Territory, and it's built around a hyper regional superstar. There's a guy who he won a high school football championship for his team in Texas. You know how high school football is down there, so in that one town, he's like a god, but it doesn't mean anything anywhere else. So he stays there, and it's the one place that still draws enough of a fan base beyond like the the WWE style Fed in the book. So he's there, and it's an old school territory, and at the same time, like they use it for developmental. So you sort of have this mashup with old school territorial wrestling with sort of new school corporate wrestling politics and such. So we're hitting it from all different sides, and I think it's going to create a lot of cool moments and stories and such out of that as he navigates his way through it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Now you have a Kickstarter going for this one. Looks like it's real close to the goal as of this recording. It's at just over $15,000 of your $16,000 goal, and you still got 28 days to go.
Yeah, the funding is good. Obviously we need funding, but ultimately what I want from this is I want people to want to read this book. And it's always hard in the comic book world. It's hard to there've been so many horrible wrestling comics, so a lot of times people don't understand wrestling. They're just like, oh, it's another wrestling comic, no one's going to buy this. So this Kickstarter for me is a number that proves marketability, that I could take to publishers and retailers and distributors and say, hey, look, this is what I did without you. So we're trying to, if you want to read this book, the book that we're doing and the incarnation that we're offering it on Kickstarter is only available on Kickstarter. And we're doing that as an incentive to get as many people to back it and to essentially order the book as possible. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And this isn't the first, definitely not the first Kickstarter wrestling really that we've seen. We've had Kenny Pickett doing his album. He did Chikara and Ring of Honor music. Was successful, and actually the album's out. I just listened to a little bit of it the other day. So you're seeing films and everything. So is Kickstarter really kind of that thing to find like the niche like wrestling fans or certain types of wrestling fans then? It seems like it's been pretty successful for you so far and for some other projects.
I think it's for anything. It's been great for comics too. I think when the gatekeepers to distribution are pretty much, the people that decide what you see. You always think it's the content makers and whatever, but it's not. It's the people who hold the keys to distribution. You can make the greatest movie in the world, but if it can't get into theaters, it's the same thing for Headlocked. It's a great book and people have liked it, but if you can't get on shelves, people can't see it. So ultimately, over the last few years in entertainment, there's been a trend that, people don't want to do anything beyond sequels and remakes and reboots, and it's just all, more of the same. So I think if you have an original idea, Kickstarter is a great way to prove marketability. You put it out there and you see if people are interested, and if people are interested, hopefully you can build something from there. But I think it's great, and I think it's great. People get upset when celebrities use it, but I think it's great that when anybody uses it, because I know it's not easy to get the people to who are in charge of that sort of thing to let people original ideas out anymore.
It's kind of democratized it, and it's like the definite put your money where your mouth is when it comes to Kickstarter as far as voting, right?
Yeah, and and I think for what we've tried to do is, like I said, we've tried to give people something cool to support us. If they support the Veronica Mars movie, you can go to the theater and see the Veronica Mars movie after it comes out if you don't support it. But, for us, we tried to make something that you can only get through here. So.
Do you think it's an advantage as somebody is currently undergoing a Kickstarter? Do you think it's an advantage to have something, that physical thing to put in somebody's hand, or even they got the digital version, they have some work afterwards, versus something like the Veronica Mars movie where great that gets put out, but we didn't give you a copy of it?
And I can't speak to without knowing what the rewards were, but I think definitely people should get something. And there have been. Obviously there's different rewards. There's
thanks in the credits or something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think you can do it that way if you have something that's an established property like that, or if you have fame or a name attached. But I know a fairly famous comic book writer had put out a Kickstarter and did not offer the book as an incentive, and it failed. So,
why would you do it at that point, right?
Right. I think for us, it almost functions like a pre-order mechanism. It's not more people are going to see this than they would see in Diamond, and more people are more apt to give it a good look than if it was in preview. So this kind of it gives us an opportunity to bring our project to the people.
Awesome. Now tell me, you have a lot of interesting names involved in this project. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Jerry Lawler's doing the cover. He's done a couple covers for us in the past. He's sort of the regular cover artist on the book. And then we recruited some other friends to help out. We have Rob Van Dam, Hurricane Helms, and Christopher Daniels contributing short stories to the book. Nice. And
Beth Phoenix, Ken Anderson, and Sin Bodhi are contributing some art to the book as well. We have Jill Thompson contributing some art. We have a couple other people in comics as well that are, working with Rob and Shane and Chris. So everybody that's associated with the book is passionate about wrestling and comics, and, a lot of just people have just wanted to help out because I think they realize that the book, I think the book deserves a bigger audience, and they're trying to help me get it.
Am I seeing this right? It looks like you have an artist involved that worked on the awesome CM Punk, what do you call it, the angelic shirt, I guess?
Yeah, that's Jill Thompson. She's a fairly famous, she's a pretty famous comic book writer.
Awesome.
Or writer and artist. But she worked on Sandman. She has her own property called Scary Godmother, and Beast of Burden, and some other things. She's had a heck of a career, but she's a huge wrestling fan. She's designed some gear for Daniel Bryan. She designed CM Punk shirts. She's doing the chapter breaks for the book. It's fully painted. So,
nice.
Jerry's doing the cover, and then in between, we're doing 5 chapters of Headlocked in this book that we're funding. So she's going to do fully painted chapter breaks.
All right. Well, you sold me on the concept. Let's pretend that I have not already put down as a backer for this. Sell me on the levels. What can you get? Give me kind of a quick summary of what do you get for your money as a backer for this thing?
We have some strong digital. The lower tiers are obviously mostly digital goals. You can get the book at $15, and at $20 you get 300 pages of digital content. At $25, you can get the physical book. $35, it's signed by Jerry, and then it goes up from there. We have some higher tiers where you can be drawn into the book as a character. What else? You can be drawn into as a character. You can get sketches from Jerry. You can get sketches from our artist. We have there's definitely something for every budget, and there's a little something different for, we have T-shirt too that people have been digging. So
yeah, I love. Yeah. I think I didn't even catch this T-shirt before. That's an awesome old school look for it.
Yeah, we thought it would be just kind of a fun thing to do. Beyond the book's obviously kind of dark and gritty and whatever, but we thought it would be kind of fun to contrast that with like a 60s style comic book cover T-shirt.
Awesome. All right. Well, I can't have you on the Mayhem Show without asking the big question. I don't think you've been on since we started asking this one. So this is kind of our kind of Mayhem Show personality test. All right.
All right.
So are you ready for this?
I'm absolutely ready for it.
The big question is, if you could be any vegetable, what would it be?
Any vegetable, huh? That's a tough one. I think I'd have to go with onions. I think I'd be an onion.
Why an onion?
Because, eventually I'll make you cry.
Awesome. Mike Kingston joining us here on the Mayhem Show. And again, check it out at headlockedcomic.com. Your Twitter, of course, is headlockedcomic. I know he's a good one to follow. And you see him around a lot of the cons. I know I just spotted you at WrestleCon this past year.
Sure. And we did Florida SuperCon in July, which is a fantastic show. Oh my God, I can't even tell you how much fun that is. San Diego Comic-Con we did. I just did Wizard Chicago last week. And I have Baltimore Comic-Con coming up in September.
Baltimore was a fun one. I was there 2 or 3 years ago, I think. That's a nice big one.
And then New York Comic-Con in October with Jerry again.
Nice. Go check him out. Friend of the Mayhem Show. Now let's hop over to the Indie Minute.
Thanks, Sorg, for that great interview with one Mike Kingston over at Headlocked. An update from when that interview was recorded. Mike Kingston actually did make his goal, and it's big congratulations go out to him. But keep donating, keep contributing because every little bit helps. Big congrats go out to Mr. Mike Kingston. And now it's time for our favorite segment, and by our favorite segment, I mean my favorite segment, no one else's favorite segment. It's the Indie Minute.
It's my favorite segment.
Is it your favorite segment?
I have an angry red erection, so I think that means it's my favorite segment.
Thank you for lying to me. It's the Indie Minute for this week. Time to talk about the wrestling that no one cares about, but you probably should because it's really awesome. So the first thing I want to talk about this week is a couple events that are coming up this weekend. The first, if you're into some women's professional wrestling, go check out Shine Wrestling. They're holding their 12th event in Ybor City, Florida, and also on IPPV at shinewrestling.com. On the 23rd, at their last event, at their 1-year anniversary, they crowned their first Shine champion in Reign. At this event, they will have a 3-way match between Jessica Havoc, Mia Yim, and Ivelisse. And the winner of that match will go on later in that night to face Reign in the first defense of that championship. There's going to be a ton of really great female wrestling stars from all over the country competing for Shine Wrestling, and Shine delivers a really great product. You can get the iPay-per-view at wwnlive.com. And you can buy it and you can watch it later. That sort of availability you get with iPay-per-views. I definitely encourage you to check them out because Shine is definitely putting on some great women's wrestling and showcasing that style to a larger audience. So, like I said, if you're in the Ybor City, Florida area around Tampa, go to shinewrestling.com to get tickets. If not, you can also order it on iPay-per-view at wwnlive.com. Speaking of iPay-per-views, Wrestling has a weekend of events and a weekend of iPay-per-views. August 24th, Wrestling is Fun. We'll be doing an iPay-per-view. And then the next night, August 25th, Wrestling is Cool. We'll be doing an iPay-per-view. Both of those available on SmartMark Video On Demand. That's smvod.com. You can buy those pay-per-views. I believe they're only like $9.99, or I think they're either $9.99 or $15. I don't remember exactly what they're doing with the iPay-per-views, but they're very inexpensive for the product.
These videos are amazing, though.
Are they?
You see this? Wrestling is Fun Event Center, and they're showing old WWF clips of Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Yeah, Greg Valentine runs down the card for Wrestling is
Fun.
No!
Yeah. That is so messed up.
It is messed up because wrestling's fun, and I guess Greg the Hammer Valentine's also fun. But they actually have a really good card. They put on a lot of really, really great talented stuff for the Wrestling Is promotions, and you're sort of seeing, like, in the Wrestling Is promotion, you're seeing a continuation of what's going on. Chikara, you're seeing some of the storyline progression that came at the end of the pay-per-view, which sort of ended Chikara in a sense. And they're doing some really interesting stuff and fun shows. And that's not just a pun on the name of one of the companies, but they're doing some fun shows, and they're definitely worth your money, and they've got tons of great talent that I encourage you to check out. I know for the August 24th show in Easton, Pennsylvania for Wrestling Is Fun, for the Banana Championship, Amasis takes on Oleg the Usurper. We have the Spectral Envoy taking on the Devastation Corporation. Dasher Hatfield in a grudge match with Mr. Touchdown, big capper to a long feud that went on in Chikara. There's even female action, Portia Perez versus Heidi Lovelace. Tons of great stuff. And then the next night in New Jersey, I believe it's Deptford, New Jersey for Wrestling Is Cool. The return of the Osirian Portal. After the year-and-a-half long feud, they are finally reuniting at Wrestling Is Cool. So, like I said, if you aren't in the area for those events because you're too far away for whatever reason, check them out on iPay-per-view, smvod.com. And Alex mentions in the chat room, also, if you're looking for the continuation of these Chikara videos and, the continuation of these storylines, check out these videos going around, these Ashes videos, because they're pretty interesting. And they may shed some light on what's going on in Chikara. So definitely be on the lookout for them and check out what they're all about. And the next thing that I want to talk about, I closed out the dock. Holy shit.
It's $5
that was
wrestling.
a dumb move on my part. I'm sorry?
$5
Oh, yes, $5
wrestling.
wrestling. Alex brought this up to me, actually. $5 Wrestling has an event on the 8th. They're big, of course, only $5. Some of the best pro wrestling.
No, shut your mouth.
I said best. I said best pro
You
wrestling.
said it like it's a question. There is no other wrestling than $5 wrestling.
That may be a lie.
You are a lie.
Yeah,
Continue.
but no, $5 Wrestling, Colt Cabana and Margo Rosa's project. The main event, Freight Train, friend of the Wrestling Mayhem Show, Freight Train.
Mm-hmm.
String
He's
bean.
defending the $5 Wrestling Championship against Big Donnie. And there should be some fun stuff. Some of the fallout between him, Freight Train and Jake Manning from WrestleCon. It should be interesting to see. So yeah, go to, I believe it's highspots.com is where you can order the iPay-per-view.
And also
for $5 wrestling.
$5wrestling.com has a button as well.
They do. They have the button on there as well. But I know it's through High Spots is what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So yeah, go check them out, $5 Wrestling, and pay your $5 and watch Freight Train and Big Donnie do stuff. And the next thing I want to talk about is an event not too far off, and yeah, it's a little self-promotion and all, but 2 weeks away from the second show for Inspire Pro out in Austin, Texas, the event that I am fortunate enough to commentate on. So yeah, I'm going to talk about it, whatever. There's this card looks really, really good. Three-way match in our main event. The winner joins Davey Vega and a third person to crown our first champion in an upcoming show. That's One Man Mike Dell, Jojo Bravo, and Bolt Brady. We'll also see friend of the Wrestling Mayhem Show, Ricky Starks, who we had on a couple weeks ago, to talk about his bitter hatred with the Ryback. He is taking on Sean Vex. Scott Summers is taking on friend of the Wrestling Mayhem Show, Ray Rowe, in what should be a very, very great matchup. There's a lot of the best talent in Texas competing, a lot of new names that a lot of people don't know about. We'll be showing what they can do, and I think it's going to be a really fun time. So you can go to inspireprowrestling.blogspot.com to get the tickets for that event. They're $10 each. Also, the Marchesa Theater, which is where the event's being held, just recently got their liquor license. So if you're interested, come down, get a beer, and go watch some great professional wrestling at the Marchesa Theater, September 1st in Austin, Texas. So definitely check that out. And finally, IWC. I believe Sorg wanted me to mention some stuff about IWC. What's going on?
Yep, there's a lot going on this weekend. It's a double shot weekend for the International Wrestling Cartel over IWCWrestling.com. If you go there, you can check out if you're in the Pittsburgh area. If you're in the West Virginia and Ohio area, there's Cage Fury, one of the big shows of the year. Two big cage matches. Friends of the show, John McChesney versus Dalton Castle for the heavyweight belt, and Facade versus Anthony Nese for the Super Indy belt. Both cage matches. Friends of the show, Super Hentai versus Justin Idol in a loser leaves IWC match. Justin Labar, who I've been working with Chair Shot Reality, is going to have a segment there, and he is calling out Zema Ion from TNA. Of course, homegrown guy, formerly Shima Zion from IWC. So that is going to be a crazy show. Also, which this is going to be pretty good. ROH Tag Team Champion Bobby Fish is going to be taking on friend of the show we were just talking about for Inspire, Ray Rowe. That's going to be a crazy match.
That's going to be awesome.
And
I got to see those two wrestle at the Ring of Honor show in San Antonio, and it was pretty amazing. So.
Yeah. And on top of that, I don't even think I cannot confirm if this is going to be on the DVD. I know the big statement for this when he was talking about on Chair Shot last week was no cameras. He was very adamant of what is said here stays here. There's going to be a pre-show, uncensored Q&A with Mark Madden. So if you have anything to ask him about his WCW days and his encounters and Ric Flair and the Clique and everything, this is your chance if you're in the Pittsburgh area. So there you go. That's at the in Elizabeth, PA at the Court Time Sports Center. And then the next day, they're returning for Mountain State Madness 5 in Newell, West Virginia, nearby the hometown of Zema Ion, of course.
Good old Newell.
So, geez, I don't even know the matches because Cage Fury has been so in the forefront lately. But they always have a lot of crazy stuff there. I'm going to load her up real quick. Steel cage match, blue collar. So they're kind of a steel cage match there, too. So Blue Collar Slaughterhouse versus Marshall Gambino and a partner of his choice. No idea who that's going to be. So we're going to see what's going to happen there. 8-man tag team match with Team Big League, which includes Bobby Fish, McChesney, and Nuts and Brooks. And against Castle, again, Ray Rowe, IWC champions Keith Hott and Colin Delaney. Facade and friend of the show, Andrew Palace for Super Indy title. Anthony Nese, Logan Shulo. Sassy Steffi and Nevia. I haven't seen Nevia for a few years. It's good to see some women's wrestling and more. Justin Labar is going to be there as well. So lots of stuff happening with the IWC. And so go check that out, IWCWrestling.com. Everything will be on DVD, of course, through Sorgatron Media. And it sounds like it's going to be a fun and crazy weekend with them. And that goes back to Eamon to say...
That, my friends, has been the Indie Minute for this week.
Thanks. Thanks to Mike Kingston for joining us here. Now, we're going to go check out just a little clip of the Wrestling Mayhem Show Gold app, $1.99 in your Amazon App Store, as well as your iOS App Store. It's not in the Android store, but I have a new Android device, so I can test that. It's really easy to install that Amazon App Store on your Android device. I presume everybody...
I have it right here.
You got it right there on your phone. I got it on the Nexus tablet here, so you can go check that out. Again, $1.91. Well, there's Blues Brothers on NES. So
$1.91.
There
We
it
have a
is.
special deal.
There it is. There
And
it is.
it gives you
Beautiful.
quick access to everything we have to offer here at the show. I think you went to sleep there or something.
No, I don't know what's going on.
And as well as one-touch access to all the social media and connections that we have for the show. So go check that out. And here's a little clip, and we'll be back with Remember When after a little look at what happened recently with the Renegade Wrestling Alliance.
Oh no! Now everyone's gonna know who I vote for.
Oh,
No, we're not.
We're going to know who LB's
We'll flip
favorite.
it upside down. We'll all close our eyes.
All right, I gotta see
We're still
the.
going to know who.
Cut the tops off. Easy as pie. Then you take some taco meat that we prepared earlier, thaw it out, mix it with some jalapeno Indian sauce. Very spicy, very delicious. Almost 9:30. If we don't start this show within the next 10 minutes, I'm going to come to each of your houses and burn them down.
Bobby, no.
But this is where the studio is.
This is me like the first time that the sun rose. I feel the reap, but the must have been the one chose. Before the day break, I see the orange glow. With the arms, I am ready for one more show. And as the day breaks, I try to save face. This is beautiful, never know where to place me. I've been lost for years, but it makes sense now. Moment of clarity, rarely feel I let down. Rose in the concrete like my whole life. Finally let go.
Hello, Mayhem Americans. Droll Papa Lunchbox here. We're going to take a trip down memory lane. A little segment that we here on the show like to call Remember When? Remember when? I like to do remember when. Do you really want to remember when? Remember. This week, we saw something very interesting happen on Raw. It echoed two very familiar factions in the WWE. You had your Triple H and your Randy Orton echoing Evolution, and you got your McMahons, of which Triple H is now also one with the corporation. So this week, the question I'm posing to my friends here on the show is, what are your favorite memories of either the corporation or Evolution? Sorg, let's start with you.
The corporation, I keep going back to the joining of the Evil Corporation. Was one of my memories. It was me all along. The mysterious figure that was behind the whole thing, which ended up
Corporate
to
ministry. I like it.
What did I say that?
You said evil corporation.
You said the evil
Oh,
corporate.
the same
Those
thing.
are
Yeah,
not-
corporate ministry. That's what I meant.
That's close enough.
Then it just became this weird mashup of evil characters like the Acolytes and Midian and stuff,
Chest tattoos.
and the Mean Street Posse and Big Boss Man.
It was like Imagination Land.
Kind of was. Just kind of went together. It was like, what? Okay,
The corporate
merger.
ministry.
And
Imagination
Naked
Land.
Man.
So I mean, just like, okay, that happened. I mean, that's one of my memories. But what about you, Eamon?
I'm going to pick Evolution for reasons that I don't have to state. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed Evolution. I thought I actually wish they went on a bit longer than they did because I thought they were a really interesting stable, and they had enough aspects to them that sort of highlighted the strengths of each person and sort of hid their weaknesses, I think, in my opinion. One of my personal favorite parts of Evolution was when a certain someone who we won't talk about was World Heavyweight Champion. And Triple H decided, you know what, I need to get my World Heavyweight Championship back. And I got to think of something devious to get that championship back. I know. There's a mentally challenged wrestler on our show. I'm going to try to recruit him in Evolution because that's how I'm going to get my World Championship back. Did you remember the feud between Triple H and Eugene with Evolution?
I forgot that was a legacy thing.
No. Well, it was an Evolution thing.
Or Evolution, I'm sorry.
But yeah,
Legacy
it
of the
was.
Evil Corporation.
No, I remember it because like Ric Flair was always so pissy about it, and like would not deal with Eugene's bullshit. And I thought it was hilarious.
I love the idea of a pissy Ric Flair.
We'll get into that later.
AKA that's Ric Flair 100% of the time.
Yes.
But no, it was funny. I just thought it was real funny. It ended in a SummerSlam match between Triple H and Eugene because that's 2004 for you. Also, I really enjoyed the ascension of Randy Orton in that stable. A lot of people talk about his heel stuff and talk about like his Viper stuff where he was, doing home invasions with Triple H and all that stuff. Young, like up and coming legend killer Randy Orton, I think was the best he's ever been, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think it was just great.
Even Batista.
Awesome stuff.
Batista was Batista was the perfect enforcer, with that whole thing.
Yeah, that's my personal favorites. Rizz.
Defer. Okay.
Defer.
I actually have a twofer for one, and that is the corporation. First, Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson. Whenever they were around, they were brilliant and funny and, sometimes weird. But it proved a point, and it was pretty cool to see. But the main one I want to get to is that we give a lot of shit to Triple H and back in the day. But he did some awesome parodies of The Rock. And one of them is when he did the Corporation parody with DX. Mm-hmm. It was him as The Rock. I think New Age Outlaws were the McMahons. And Vince had two guys kissing his ass, being Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe. And is that the one? No. I'm thinking, Shawn Michaels was played by, what's his name? The guy who did Owen Hart. Anybody
Jason
remember?
Sensation?
Yes. I think, he kept on dropping the ball. But that's the one memory that I have of the Corporation that I love, is that they were always made fun of, mm-hmm. and they still could kick some ass. Because they had The Rock. They had all those guys that made the Corporation the Corporation. They had the corporate champion. So, and who else didn't go?
Lunchbox.
Lunchbox is here.
Hi, everybody.
Lunchbox is here.
I'm very glad that I thought Sorg was going to steal mine for a second there. My favorite memory specifically involves Evolution, and it was that the most likable Batista ever was in both face or heel scenario was when he was breaking away from the group and turning on Triple H and Ric Flair. That was when I was on board the Batista train. Afterwards, it was just downhill from there. They had that very interesting Hell in the Cell match with all kinds of weapons and stuff. It was good. I really did genuinely enjoy it. But really, then Batista went to SmackDown, and it was the rest of his career, in my opinion, was just downhill from that point.
Definitely.
It really didn't pick up, I think, until like the last few months of his career. Like when he was being douchey Batista again.
Mm-hmm.
I love the spotlight.
Awesome. Thanks for that, LB, and let us know your I don't think we have anything yet. Let us know your remember one. Let us know your favorite Evolution or Corporation moment on Facebook, on Google Plus, or at Mayhem Show on Twitter. I'm gonna check in one last time, see if anybody dropped any real quick. But in the meantime, though, remember, if you want to support the Mayhem, we got some great stuff. I don't think this has been up since we talked about it last week. There, of course, Rizz is sporting the awesome Property of WMS, or Property of Mayhem shirt right there.
Look at that.
Check that out.
Look at that.
Courtesy of Alex Cars, who's been also
Smells
doing
perfect
covers for us as well. You can check out awesome stuff like that over at ProWrestlingTees.com/Mayhem WMS for the Wrestling Mayhem Show t-shirt store. While you're there, go get your Kevin Steen t-shirts, your Cole Cabana t-shirts, and throw one of ours in the cart as well, including our brand new one. If you love that email that we've been singing for a good 6 years now, you can get a t-shirt that says...
Good times.
Good
T-shirt?
times.
T-shirt.
Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. In this awesome, what is this? Fast Times at Ridgemont High kind of thing. That is awesome. I have mine on its way right now. So go check that out. Go order that and support the show. This is the kind of thing we're trying to do. So you guys get cool stuff like this. It supports the show, and we can improve some things.
And
so,
we can eat.
So I don't mess up another interview video like we did earlier in the show.
Feed me.
Feed us.
And we don't have to...
We've been eating crackers.
And we don't have to stuff
time.
people in a hangout because the computer Skype machines went down or anything like that, like we had to do last week. It is all to better the show. Hopefully we can get some new equipment. I need an extra computer down here so we can improve things and keep going with that.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama. What?
Wow.
Yeah, you heard me.
And with that, I want to check in with Rizz and the crossover he did with Eamon over at InsertCoinToBegin.com. But first, it's the return of Mad Mike's Minute of Mayhem.
Greetings, Mayhemers. It's Mad Mike once again with your Minute of Mayhem. Not on the show tonight, obviously, as you can see. I am at a Mets game currently by the time you listen to this, even though I'm not there now. Just think fourth dimensionally, you'll get it. I wanted to talk about the ending segment on last night's Raw. Now, I went into this a little bit on the Raw post-show wrap-up, but Triple H doesn't work as the new Vince McMahon. Because in the 90s, in the Attitude Era, when Vince and Austin had their fight, Vince never won. Definitely not right away. Austin always got the better of him. And that's fine. That's how it worked, because Steve Austin was the guy for us. He was our people. He was the blue collar guy go against the white collar asshole. Daniel Bryan is the 2013 version of that. He is the guy who is on the internet, who, vegan, all the new crap that 2013 brings. That is Daniel Bryan. He doesn't care about anything like that. And Triple H doesn't work for that role because since retiring, Triple H hasn't put a single person over. He didn't put Brock over. He didn't put Taker over because no one really went over in their series of matches. He didn't put Punk over when Punk was the hottest thing in the company, and now he's doing the same to Daniel Bryan. I'm not saying he's the burying person. I'm just saying because of the character that Triple H has been in the past, it doesn't work. You're going to have to sell me really hard that Daniel Bryan can actually do something about this, and not in the first night of going against this new corporation. Daniel Bryan just gets bitch slapped the whole time. I said the whole hangout during Raw that he should have come out in a fucking produce truck and sprayed like the health shake from his girlfriend Brie at the entire corporation. That would have been awesome. Could you imagine the reaction that would have gotten? But no, he just walked out and got his ass kicked. I don't have enough confidence in WWE to be able to change that trend. That's just, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. God bless me, I hope I'm wrong. But I don't think we're going to see Daniel Bryan near that WWE Championship until WrestleMania. And I don't think he's going to be the one to take down the corporation. That'll probably be Cena. Alright, well, it's been the minute. Peace, bitches.
Hey, guys. Thanks, Mad Mike, for that Minute of Mayhem and contributing. There you go. We'll get a little bit into that. But first, wait, Eamon, did you have something you wanted to mention off of that?
Sort of. Well, off of that, and also there was something that was mentioned in one of the emails before. I don't remember which one. Especially coming off of what happened last night.
Wait.
What?
Are we getting into the round table?
No. Well, this is just a point I wanted to make.
Is that this?
It's sort of the
Is that this
sort of the
segment
round
now?
table. And
Yeah,
I
that's
had-
what this is.
I had.
That's the format, LB.
yeah,
That we
that's
do.
how it
Okay,
goes.
good.
No,
Here's the thing we can roundtable talk about. Okay, so after the whole controversy of what happened at SummerSlam and all that stuff,
Mhm.
a lot of people talk about whether it comes to Daniel Bryan winning the championship or Randy Orton winning the championship after screwing Daniel Bryan. A lot of people refer to it as the internet wrestling community, the IWC or whatever, either jizzing their pants or getting fucking angry and smashing stuff because, they think Daniel Bryan's getting buried or whatever.
This upsets you. You're telling me this upsets you.
It sort of does.
It
Because
upsets the guy who's talking about
I
wrestling
think
on-
that the point that I have to make is that 95% of the people that like professional wrestling are on the internet.
the other 5 are in Nebraska. Moving on.
They're not there's
I
the fans
have
like
to
us.
respectfully disagree with you there, WrestleFan.
Wait, hold on. There are fans like us that know. We don't know, but we know that this stuff is sort of done for certain reasons, and we have opinions on that and all that stuff. There's also the community of people that are still on the internet who are the people that are like, yeah, WWE's the greatest. I love Randy Orton. I'm going, John Cena's so hot or whatever. Like those sort of more not as. I don't want to use the term smart fans because they're fans like all of us, but those kind of fans are also on the internet. And also, everyone was happy that Daniel Bryan won. And everyone was upset when Daniel Bryan got screwed.
Mhm.
Because
And-
that's what the story is.
And where did they go to talk about it?
The internet. Exactly. My point exactly. So
And
the idea of us having an internet wrestling community that solely believes a certain way and is only going to get upset when certain things happen to certain people and gets, happy when certain things happen to certain people, I think is a thing that we need to throw by the wayside. And it's not going to happen. It's just a thing that I believe is that people like things. People should at least like things because they like things, or don't like things because they don't like things. And it doesn't matter if they're, on the internet or whatever. It's just what happens.
We are all a part of the internet wrestling community, WrestleFan.
He's kind of right.
Right.
When we say the IWC, when we say the internet wrestling community, we're talking about
That's-
the jackasses that are always bitching about. We're talking
Yeah.
about the trolls. We're
Yeah,
talking
but
about this.
that's not
And
that's not the way to go.
No, and it's an improper representation, but that's the people we're smirking about whenever we say something like that. We are the internet wrestling
That's
community. The people that love Total
They got-
Divas being all over the place because they think they're hot and they got boobies. They're the internet wrestling community now because we're putting the tweets and stuff on TV. Guess
Exactly.
what? You just exploded all that, and now all of that is just a reflection of all the kinds of fans that watch wrestling for all the kinds of reasons.
Right.
Sorry, Rizz.
Exactly. But
Sorry.
what I was trying to explain is
Rizz
that-
is on board.
Riz my
This
fan.
should just be a segment
Anyway.
on the show now called Riz Approves.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that when you have those people and you have the explosion that happened
Mm-hmm.
between excitement and rage, there's that little in between where those wrestling, the internet wrestling community that we were all talking about before, the smart marks, the weirdos that go on the indie message boards to complain about something, just anything. They went on and they did it, and they complained all day that that they went from this is even you, Eamon. I'm not saying you're a part of that community, but even you, we were reading your tweets, and you went from this is the best show ever to this show is the worst in history.
I did not say it was the worst in history. That's kind of
Let me ask you this question.
I said that Triple H is
did
horrible.
send out a
and
tweet
ruins things.
that said, "This is an amazing show." Well, let me ask you this: are you still going to buy the DVD?
I am going to buy the DVD because there were a ton of fucking great matches on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My point is, and I get what you're saying, Riz, and to me, those people that are the smart marks or whatever, because some people may even consider
We're
us
not the smart marks. Let's just say that.
No, I think, but Riz, we sort of are.
We're not.
Okay?
We kind of are,
We're
but
not.
we
We
try
sorta
not
are.
to be
I'm
dicks
pretty
about
sure
it.
we are.
But we're not.
I'm trying not to be
I don't
dicks
think
about
we
it.
can have. I don't think we can have it both ways. We can't condemn certain
Hold on.
classifications. of
Okay.
wrestling.
Whoa. Yeah, LB, it's your turn.
Sorry, go ahead, Elby.
Sorry.
We can't have it both ways. We can't condemn all these different classifications of wrestling fan and not fall under those headings ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's, like you're right, the internet is a very multicolored place, and there's, not one person falls into one category, but, to a certain degree, they do.
Yeah.
They do, and we do. To a certain degree, we're wrestling hipsters, and to a certain degree, we're smart marks, and to a certain degree, we're, good old we just like wrestling fans. We've got all of our shades, but to deny the fact that we're any wrestling fan is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and we shouldn't hold our heads up and think that
I
we're
agree.
a better wrestling fan than any of those
No,
categories
not
that
at
we're
all.
talking
Not
about.
at all. And
Sorry.
and people that
I mean,
you have every right,
we
you
have
every
a
right
show.
to say that those people that are
Yeah, we
going
do
on
have a
and saying
show.
that Daniel Bryan is getting buried or whatever are douchey. That's fine. I agree that those people don't really know what they're talking about, in my opinion. But to generalize it and say that's the internet saying this, I think is a bit too generalizing. And it's. I think if we can try to move past that and sort of think of, well, these guys aren't all the internet smart mark, just crowd. They're just douchebags. You know what I mean? Like they don't represent everyone, is what I mean.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And
That's
I was
just
going
my
to say,
point. I
Lunchbox.
Riz?
Did you just turn into Bill Cosby? During that whole thing, all I heard was Bill Cosby's voice.
Really?
What? For what?
I can tell you it wasn't not intentional.
All right,
was
enough
probably
about
it,
that.
but
Oh, sorry, Riz, you got more?
I don't have more.
No, you're just,
but
just Bill Cosby. Well, let's talk about something good the internet is doing, and that's combining some forces here at Sorgatron Media.
Yes.
I wanted to put out props to both Eamon and Rizz, representing respectively Wrestling Mayhem Show and InsertCoinToBegin.com, did a great article over on InsertCoinToBegin.com / the Wrestling Mayhem Show YouTube page. You guys did a great coverage of the WWE 2K14, and we'll get to in a second the really interesting thing that happened with that. But give me, you guys did a hangout, kind of, it looked like it was wrap-up style. I didn't get a chance to watch you guys' coverage, but I did read the article. Give me the high points. What are the pluses? Give me one or two things, each of you, that you're looking for with this video game so far. You first, Riz.
30 years of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Yokozuna.
Mm-hmm.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's three
Ed-
things.
Let him go.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Fuck you, WrestleFan.
No.
Ted DiBiase. Without Virgil. Just that alone. That without Virgil is enough to buy this game.
Exactly.
Even though
Virgil
he is probably going to be up on in the cheap seat somewhere with his little table and the cheap $1 million belt.
It's falling apart.
Yeah, it's just. But yeah, everybody everybody you want in this game is in this game already, and it's not even talking about the current superstars yet.
Mm-hmm.
They still have to go through the current roster.
Awesome.
So who's going to be in that?
Awesome. Eamon, what are your highlights for this?
The things that I'm very excited about for this game, with the concept of doing the whole 30 years of WrestleMania thing, the fact that they're having this is sort of a thing that I love about wrestling video games, that they're having all 30 of the past WrestleMania arenas available for play. Well, 29, because the 30th one won't be out yet before the game's out. But yeah, the past 29 WrestleMania arenas will be available, and I think that's really cool. Me as like that sort of guy that played all the video games and wanted to get to the wrestling WrestleMania sets, I thought that was very interesting for me, and the characters as well. But also when the main roster, like the current roster, gets released, the fact that you can mix up some guys from the main roster with sort of the WrestleMania legends and see how that plays out. I think that'll be fun. I think it's an interesting concept. The selling point I think last year was the Attitude Era concept, and that definitely helped it. And I think this year it'll be this year will be even better, I think.
Now
Awesome.
we discussed this on the actual YouTube video, but there was one person on that list that kind of was shocking to be on the Legends list.
Really?
Who? Goldberg is.
Oh.
Goldberg had one WrestleMania moment,
Yeah, he did.
and it was the worst
Well-
moment in history.
They have like kind of come to terms. They're actually releasing a DVD of like kind of a best of Goldberg kind of deal.
Yeah, but it's not. His WrestleMania moment was with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
You know how that turned out,
That's unfortunate.
and you can actually
Great.
recreate that in WrestleMania in that era,
I
in
don't
that
know,
video game.
Somebody, I think
You should. I hope there's a story mode where you can pay Brock Lesnar and Goldberg overinflated contracts, and then have them walk out to go the bigger and brighter futures, and then basically have like each other's dick contest in the ring of WrestleMania 20.
Leg Kick in the chat is saying, I hope hopefully there's a camera angle to give you an obstructed view for the recent WrestleMania sets. And I saw somebody, I think it was in the chat when we were talking about this on Let's Play, said they wanted to take Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg and swap them up for luchador moves and have a 5-star match.
Yes.
So there you go.
Again, I said.
Well, we know what happens when Lesnar hits a shooting star.
Yeah, that's true.
He
That's true.
knocked himself out. But like I said in Let's Play, Eamon, you did a great job.
Mhm.
I couldn't have done this. I would talk to myself about this video game. I like the wrestling aspect to this as well. And thank you for not embarrassing me and talking about video games.
Yay, thank you.
Awesome. You can go check that out. It's at insertcointobegin.com.
Because you don't know anything about video games.
You can go to
Nothing.
insertcointobegin.com. The video is actually embedded there, or you can go to youtube.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show for just the video itself. Like, go to Insert Coin. Go read the article and what they got to say about it.
What
as
are you
well.
doing, Sorg?
What? I was letting them
Go
know
to our
everywhere it's at. Just letting them
Tell
know.
us where our site is, Sorg.
Exactly.
It's insertcointobegin.com. That's where you can find it. I don't care about the YouTube page. We get views from the site. We don't get views from your YouTube page.
This is being
Wow,
sassy.
he is sassy pants.
Yelling.
All right. Well, let's talk about something else. Speaking of sassy, let's talk about the
Total Divas again?
30 years of WrestleMania Symposium. I did catch it. It was actually on Kotaku. I found the Twitch.com. or Twitch-
Kotaku. God damn it, Sorg! I'm gonna kill you one day.
You run the internet!
I don't hear it much. Anyways, they did have the Twitch.tv stream of it unedited. Thank you. And they actually had a hot tip of starting it at about 40 minutes is when it really went off the rails. Yeah, Ric Flair kind of took over. Was fairly drunk. JR went off. He says several times. Thank you. This segment brought to you by Grey Goose. Mick Foley didn't help much. Paul Heyman getting up and ripping up the script was a fantastic moment. If you don't get a chance, you have to take the half an hour, whatever it is, to watch at least that portion of this thing. I know it's.
I find it hilarious that during like the Legends of WrestleMania, like the Legends of WrestleMania reveal sort of thing.
Yeah.
JR gives like when they have Razor Ramon's one come up, he gives like a nice, oh, I'm really like glad for Scott Hall to get better, and now he's in the video game. That's cool.
Good.
And then he starts making jokes about how Ric Flair's fucking plastered.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, Eamon, you were watching the actual reveal. Flair was kind of drunk.
No, I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
Flair was fucking off his rocker.
Sloshed.
And I hear the 3-hour podcast with Austin is even better. So I'm looking forward to that.
And also, every time I picture the 2K Sports guys now, all I can think of is this homeless guy that just sits. Or it was Ukes and it was 2K Sports. Ukes had their own shirt, and 2K had a guy that looked like he just came off the streets.
Oh, really?
I thought he was homeless and just wandered on the set, and they're going to pay him in sandwiches and hand jobs.
2K's like, we spent all of our money on this license. We can't afford clothing for this fellow. Maybe they're like, oh, we got to be earthly and like the wrestling fans, and we sent this guy like this, right?
We're not homeless. These walls are real.
Well, at least
these walls are real.
These walls are real, Sorg. These feelings are real.
Well, drunk Ric Flair aside, he
started going off. The feelings are green screen.
He started going off about prenups.
Yep.
Bullshit they were. Oh, it was great. Go watch it, please. And there was a really cool moment where Paul Heyman, or actually JR credited Paul Heyman for, I think it was WrestleMania X7 where they were both on the mic for the night. It said that Paul Heyman brought the best out of him, and he thought that was the best night of commentary he ever did because of him. And then Paul comes back and says, and talks about all the people he threw under the bus doing Saturday Night, and then came along JR and kind of put him in his place, and how when Joey Styles came along and he was teaching Joey Styles how to do his thing, he just told Joey Styles everything that JR had told him. So that was a genuinely really cool moment, and worth it aside from drunk Flair. So with that, all right. So there was some big news over the last week. Kind of came out, I think, Thursday mostly. So we can't, we would be remiss if we didn't touch on it a little bit here. And considering we've had conversation about this kind of topic before, I only saw little bits and pieces. I heard from most of this secondhand, but I guess Darren Young was approached by TMZ at an airport of all places. That's usually where they end up, and was asked about. How was the question?
The question was, do you think a homosexual professional wrestler could succeed in the professional wrestling business?
Yeah, and he said,
and Darren Young basically answered with, "Yeah, I think so because I am one."
Yeah, which was like a, like nobody knew, like legit nobody knew, or maybe some people knew, personally, but not publicly like that. So who knows? We don't know who knew or anything like this. Can I follow up though? They talked to Shawn Michaels, and his response was, "Nobody cares if he's openly gay or not. That's so 80s." So I'm like,
Shawn.
what?
Yeah, Shawn.
Yeah, I definitely think that the bigger story here is we need to finally acknowledge how much TMZ covers professional wrestling.
That's my problem with it.
Like,
we talked about
if a
this
wrestler
Sunday
gets a DUI or something crazy happens,
Hulk Hogan sex tape.
Fucking TMZ is there.
Oh, yeah. And it really seems like I was gonna say almost because I kept hearing, oh, now John Cena said something, now so and so said something. It was like it's almost like they're coming to TMZ, but then you see the videos and it's like no, they're like following these guys through the airport.
But the thing is, whether or not they got TMZ to do it, or whether TMZ did it naturally or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it really doesn't matter.
No.
Like the Darren Young thing is absolutely great. I give him tons of credit because, like the question posed, there it is expectingly very difficult to be a out professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to be very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I give him tons of credit, and I give WWE tons of credit for how they're handling it, and I think they're letting him. The fear was that, and obviously it's only been a week since, so obviously things could change. But just letting him be him, like there's no difference other than there's the primetime players are sort of face now.
Yeah,
But
I noticed that.
but I never really
turn.
considered them heels. They were just guys that faced faces.
Yeah. Yeah, they never really did. I mean, they were kind of. They never played too much of the heel upper hand people. They were just kind of assholes, right?
Yeah.
They
They're
were
just
the
kinda
asshole
douchey.
jobbers.
Yeah. I mean, they're just like a couple of jocks, They're maybe a
Yeah.
little bit annoying. So,
But they're just letting him still be a primetime player, and there's no difference because he said he was gay.
yeah.
Like and that's
Which-
the way you handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
Yeah, that
no
needs
difference.
to be the way they handle it.
Mhm.
They can't, if they even try to acknowledge it or turn it into a gimmick at all, they will fail based off of their track record with anything. They will fail at it, and it will be a shit show.
I mean,
be a nightmare.
there are a couple concerns with it, but him being openly gay. How does we think not so much the internet wrestling community, but we know the demographic that comes in with WWE, and that's it's a crossover with NASCAR, guys, and we know what that kind of brings. Knowing the kind of things that get yelled at shows that happen in very small towns.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or the stuff
think,
for those, and I'll bring it up for those that read the Best and Worst of Raw. Comments that are made on the YouTube video from the primetime players beating Real Americans. Yeah, sometimes people can be not that
Yeah,
great.
But
go ahead.
That's the thing though. If they're gonna boycott, if they go to the South, in the South where some people are more Bible Belt than anybody,
Yeah.
and they boycott professional wrestling because of this,
Mm-hmm.
there are tens of thousands of other fans who will line up to
Mhm.
buy a ticket.
Mhm.
That's true.
Absolutely.
That's
It does not matter
it's good.
what they do because there will be people who would die to get in those seats.
And it's very possible. Maybe certain towns that maybe become a problem. Maybe he doesn't get booked on the smaller town, live shows or something like that, where that could be an issue. For anybody that's known for stuff like that, maybe this. I wonder if he becomes part of a Be a Star campaign, and then again, Be a Star is not.
I think it would be absolutely smart for him.
I would
to
be
do it. And I
smart,
know-
but I think it's Be a Star is not a WWE owned thing. I don't think. And because
Right.
of that, I also wonder if Be a Star makes him a part of it, because I don't think Be a Star does anything with homosexuality. But I can imagine Be a Star not being allowed in certain schools because of that. Again, same issue.
He was doing a Be
doing
a
a
Star
day
rally
of.
2 days later.
Was he? Oh, excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
important. It's the stuff I told people. Like, it's very important that he did come out and is showing that it's perfectly fine. I work in the professional wrestling business, which has, like I said, it can't be easy to sort of be a homosexual in that environment, and he's doing it and he's being successful, and it's showing people that it's okay to just be yourself, and it's a message that a lot of people need to hear. I know a lot of people when it came out, a lot of people brought up, well, oh, he's not the first out pro wrestler. What about Canyon? The difference is Canyon came out as
After.
gay, and then he lost a ton of indie bookings because of that, and he committed suicide because of his depression.
Yeah, and that maybe well, I mean, there are also questions on whether, Canyon was a cool guy to begin with, but
The one
Whether
name
he was
that
or not,
Yeah.
it's the depression that comes with obviously that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah.
a real thing.
yeah.
And for Darren Young to be a positive influence,
Yeah.
on people that are going through the same stuff, it's very important.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely. And hopefully we've come a longer way than, the Canyon situation and those kinds of reactions.
I hope we come a long way though from promoters who hopefully Vince has enough sense
Mm-hmm.
not to do what TNA did to
Orlando.
Orlando.
Well, no,
Georgia.
whoa, because that was supposedly something Orlando had actually come to WWE with as an idea. Now,
Yeah.
but there's presentation issues, and I don't know how much of it's Orlando and how much of it's TNA, because, I mean, you got TNA coming out there and say, oh, this is so disgusting and weird, versus, and maybe it is what he's really like, but
He
still.
ejaculated lotion on his chest.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, and hopefully, this doesn't mean, we don't see Darren Young become another Billy and Chuck or Adrian Adonis, hopefully, you're right. Hopefully they do just leave him be Darren Young. His character isn't asked to be anything like that. At the worst case, they make a teachable moment with him versus a heel that has a comment, and it can be one of those things. And it could be one of those things that's one of those thinly veiled comments that the kids aren't really going to understand.
I was ready for that to happen last night.
Yeah.
With Zeb Coulter.
Yeah.
Zeb, yeah.
Yeah, especially.
But the thing is, Zeb is more. I don't like illegal immigrants. He's not.
Whoa,
like,
no. Zeb doesn't like anybody that's different.
Yeah.
Very explicitly, and
Zeb's
he
gimmick is making fun of the Tea Party, and Tea Party hates gay people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Zeb is, and I believe his rant on L.A., aside from being about immigrants, was just talking about the trashiness of the town as well. So I mean, he isn't.
Well, that's what
explicitly-
every heel does.
Well, yes, but I mean, it's not so. I mean, it's not like it's not going to be in his wheelhouse for this. It's very easy for Zeb to come out and say that this activity, allowing this to happen, what Darren Young doing is un-American, which is exactly what a lot of politicians say. I think the governor of PA just said that.
Yes.
It's again, ridiculous speech.
Let it
and
be known that the
considering-
views and opinions of the governor of Pennsylvania do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of the Wrestling Mayhem Show, just because we take place in the state that he's the governor
They
in.
do affect the views and opinions who I'm going to vote for next time. But aside from that,
I
it's
will also note that my favorite tweet coming out of this was somebody, I can't remember the name of the person, but somebody tweeted, somewhere right now, The Rock is feverishly scraping off of his whiteboard, so you're gay, aren't you? Off of his joke board.
Oh.
Because, he can't really cut those anymore.
Yeah. But I mean, it's considering oh God, who said? Oh, Daily Show actually talked about this when Zeb Coulter. There was something with Zeb Coulter and something he said that was fairly even more hypocritical than usual. And there was a conversation between JBL and Cole in the middle of SmackDown or Raw. I can't remember. They played it on the Daily Show, and there says, "How is the best educated conversation about this issue is happening on fucking WWE and not on Fox News."
Yeah.
Which was exactly right. JBL did a really nice job. It was a genuine conversation. I'm sure JBL's playing his role, but the devil's advocate for that conversation. Who knows? Maybe he is along that line, because he did play that character. He is more of a. I think he's probably more along the Republican set from his show and his financial stuff. Guesstimating on that. But again, we've kind of gone to this weird place where there's more intellectual commentary happening in WWE than the Vince going out and saying the N-word.
Oh.
It's on a pay-per-view, mind you.
This reminds me, though, of if you guys watch South Park, the WTF episode where they wrestled.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it had, storylines of abortion and all that stuff.
That's right.
And it just that just reminds me of conversations that conversation had, that this was all just part of a story, and it's what's happening now. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Awesome. Well, on that note, guys, we gotta get out of here. I think we had some great conversations. I know we touched on SummerSlam. I think the important parts between the fans and everything, and the reaction, definitely. We all know what happened there, and again, what happened with Raw last night. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to the chat room. Thank you to the emailers for all of that. So let me know, guys, what did you learn this week in wrestling? And I know, LB, you got one.
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. Where did I put it? Here we go. Oh boy. Okay, I learned that I learned that there are apparently Portuguese matadors, and WrestleFan is one of them.
Oh my god.
Portuguese? Wait a
Oh
minute.
my god.
I don't think that's
no,
right
no,
at
no,
all.
Are they
not
Portuguese?
Portuguese.
No, they're Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican?
They're Puerto Rican.
Cuban.
Puerto
There are
Rican.
Cuban sandwiches, and
They're-
WrestleFan.
They're from
Rizz.
Greece or Spain or somewhere around there. Anyways, I
Rizz.
learned that. What did I learn this week? Oh, I learned that. What did I learn this week? Oh, I learned
WrestleFan.
that.
What did you?
Go ahead. Go ahead, WrestleFan.
Oh, okay.
thinking.
I
Thinking.
learned from wrestling this week that silicone floats, and also it is hilarious to get one of your relatives to watch Total Divas because my mom does not think Tyson Kidd is the bomb.com.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, okay, got one. I learned that.
Did you always have those glasses?
What?
Did you always have those glasses on your head?
Yep.
What glasses?
Okay. No,
What glasses?
I
I learned.
Continue.
I learned that when Ric Flair and Damien Sandow get in the ring, magic happens. They were in the ring for the roster reveal, and it was like looking in a mirror, a well-groomed mirror with a beard. Go on, Sorg.
You made me forget mine. I learned oddly from
Thank you, Sorg.
Oddly from wrestling this week that I can't imagine how romantic you can be with a camera in your face.
Yeah.
To that point, I empathize with Tyson Kidd. Yeah, that really, come on. From the chat room, I got
Really, you've never filmed porn.
No, I haven't, LB. We haven't ventured in that vertical for Sorgatron Media yet.
Not it.
It.
All right, from the chat room, this week, Leg Kick learned 1, ding dong, the brook is dead, and 2, fingers ain't supposed to bend that way. Holy crap, Sin Cara. Real quick, Rizz.
Wait, no. Both of those comments are about Brooke Hogan.
Okay.
Oh.
So here's a regular hand.
Yeah.
Sin Cara dislocated the ring finger. And when you looked at it, the finger went that way. Towards the pinky.
It's the wrong way for those on audio.
Towards the pinky. Yeah, it's not.
LB's having some issues with this.
The tip
freaks my shit.
The tip went towards the pinky.
Yeah.
So now note that the finger does not bend that way.
Yeah.
So when he hit Del Rio, it made a snapping noise.
It sounded like it might have been when he landed after hitting Del Rio, perhaps, or
either way.
I want you to be my anatomy teacher.
Bo fucking diggity in the chat room says, I learned that I missed Brodus Clay calling out his moves. Should I get him?
Cheer.
I don't know, that might be something else.
My bad.
Yeah, I think that's all I got. Yes.
Wait, did you just ask... WrestleFan, did you just ask me to be your anatomy teacher?
Oh, Alex Cars learned
so
that
good.
Goldberg and Brock Lesnar can have a Lucha Classic if you play WWE 2K14. And that's what I got. Guys, thank you. Wrestling Mayhem Show 383. Thank you once again for joining us again. You can drop us a line. We're at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. Go there, click on the links, click on our advertisers, check out stuff. Fleshlights, t-shirts, the Mayhem Show apps, anything to support the show, or if you don't want to give us any money, I understand we might be some surly-looking fellows. You can go to iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, share them with your friends, comment, plus them, thumbs up them, all that kind of stuff. Let us know you're liking it. Let other people know you're liking it too, so we can grow the Mayhem Nation. Also, drop us like good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. I still didn't fix that graphic. 412-206-WMS0. And live every Tuesday night around 9 p.m. Eastern or so. Live.sorgatronmedia.com. Guys, thank you there. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. We'll see you guys next week. Mayhem out.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait